All right. Looks like we're live. Hey, Kylie, how's it going?
Good, Stefan. How you doing today?
Not too bad. Pretty excited about our first ever podcast from Southside Gaming in Margate, Florida. Um, had a couple of guests that we're going to have on with us today. We're also going to talk about a couple of things like the most recent bans, 15 case tournament review. We're going to introduce a special guest that is yet to be named. And then we will cap it off with our May 3rd and May 4th events. We have some pretty cool updates for those. So stick around for those. They're going to be really exciting.
Yeah, this was a
Um,
long time coming. We've been
yeah,
trying to get this going. We've been trying to get this ready, but I think all the news today and everything is well worth the wait.
absolutely. Yeah. And it's great to have you on, as a co host for this and for moving forward every Wednesday. So we'll have updates regarding our events, maybe some meta reports, just kind of, go with the flow. Like, it's not going to be your typical Lorcana show all the time. We might pull in some other players from some of our other games. But right now, today, a lot of the focus will be on Lorcana. So with that being said, let me pull in our first guest. We will bring in the very well-known Devin
Debbie
from his
Rips, baby. Debbie
Debbie
Rips.
Rips.
Thank you for
How's it
that
going,
nice
Devin?
I'm hanging in there, doing well. How y'all doing?
Good.
Nice, nice. I know that you're feeling real good right now because you've
Yes.
only been asking for this for so long. So,
Man, I this is a long time coming, and we finally got it together, and I'm excited. I'm super happy and grateful for you guys to put this together, and I think we're gonna have something good here. I think we're gonna be, people are gonna, everyone's gonna want to
yeah.
listen to us. Hopefully, I think we're entertaining.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like, we're definitely blessed to have someone like you when we talk shop when it comes to Lorcana, or even when I've heard you with Yu-Gi-Oh, for example. You're very passionate about card games. So with that, I'd like to actually officially allow you to kind of make an introduction yourself, your history with TCGs, maybe give us a little insight as to what inspired you to start Southside Gaming, and then also, kind of maybe a moment of reflection of where we're at right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first and foremost, for y'all that don't know me, my name is Devin. I am the owner of Southside Gaming. Um, started my background on playing cards. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a long time ago. I'm talking about I had to have been at least like 8 or 9 years old. That's what really got me into the TCG world. But I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh guy. Transitioned into Pokemon, and then during my teenage years, I just gave it up and had other obligations like uh, education, sports, all that good stuff. But long story short, late through high school, I dove back into the Yu-Gi-Oh realm, and I got that itch. And I've just, I've always been super passionate, but unfortunately, I didn't have the ability to really, really take it serious because I put other priorities ahead of that, and you know, I stopped playing, and then fast forward when I turned 18, I really really got into poker, and I started playing poker full time through college, and I was able to thankfully pay through somewhat pay through college with the assistance of obviously family and whatnot. But I always had the itch, and then fast forward 10 more years later, we opened up Southside Gaming. I never as ambitious as I am, I would have never thought that we were expanded as quickly as we did, or get to the point that we're getting now. Right? Um, I'm in love with card games, but most importantly, like some of the communities that we were able to, uh, you know, I guess intertwine with. They've been so cool and so fun to interact with that it just drove my passion even more. It lighted more of a flame, and I don't want to say the word addicted, but I'm really addicted to all this. This is fun, man. Like we're having a blast, to be honest with you. So that's just a little elevator pitch.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
And I'm so sorry for skipping Kylie for the introductions as well too. This is the first thing. So like this might go off the rails a little bit, but we're doing this as we go. So, Kylie, maybe you can kind of give us a couple of words about maybe your history at TCGs and kind of how you got involved with Southside Gaming.
Yeah, so I was playing card games since I was like 5 years old. I played Pokemon, Packet Books a Million when, we were just sitting on the floor. I played Yu-Gi-Oh, and then, I hit high school and I kind of dropped off a little bit. Um, and I I remember like when I got to college, I was kind of looking for a hobby, and DFM, the Hiram band. Yeah, yeah, I'm excited for that. I am excited for that. I have something on that later when we get to that topic. But yeah, I was in college looking for a hobby, and I got into Magic really big. I was playing Pro Tour qualifiers. I was traveling to play Magic, and then when I came back home, back to South Florida, stayed in the Magic scene a little bit, got less competitive and more casual. And then, I was in a relationship for a little bit of time, and I kind of fell off of cards. And then, when One Piece came out, that kind of brought me back a little bit because I was like, oh God, One Piece, oof, One Piece card game, let's go. And then I'm a really big Disney guy. I mean, you guys can see right behind me here.
Yeah.
And my whole house, Disney, right? Annual.
First off, hold on, guys. He's. I don't mean to cut him off. He is being so modest. This Kylie has the sickest collection of you can call it memorabilia or figure, whatever you want to call it. His house is better than walking into any type of like Disney museum or there's no Disney
Yeah,
museum.
it's a problem.
Crazy.
It's
It's
a problem. It's definitely a problem. But so I see Lorcana, I'm like, oh my God. And Ravensburger did it, and I was like, oh my God, Villainous is like a great game. And I'm like, this is gonna be it. And so the moment, Lorcana came out, I was in it. And then I actually was playing a lot of Guildhall, formerly known as Gamer's Heaven, and that's where I met Devin and Joey. And the rest is history from there. Southside started as just an online store. Me and Joey were just selling cards, and Devin was just buying cards. And we said, man, Devin and Joey were like, yo, we need a shop. We want to do tournaments better than everybody else. We want to have an environment better than everybody else. And Devin really was able to pull the resources together and kind of bring that dream alive. And here we are.
Well, and Kylie, you brought up a good point, man. First and foremost, shout out to Joey, man. I hope he's watching right now. If y'all don't know who Joey is, he was one of the co-founders of Southside Gaming. Because of him, this logo exists. Very, very talented, and he was a major key to the development of what it is that we have now. For those of you guys, if you see him in the shop, go ahead and say what's up to him. He's a little introverted, doesn't really like going on the cat pod, but that's our brother, man. Love Joey.
Now we'll get him one day. We'll get him on.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, he said he wants to come on, so we'll definitely set that up.
We should get him on.
Yeah. All right. Great. So I'm gonna actually bring in our first special guest, our very own from Southside Gaming Lorcana team, the team captain Hector. So let's bring him in.
El Capitan.
El Capitan.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Baba?
Good.
Hanging in there.
All right, cool. I'm gonna have fun with the restream controls and the layouts because the way we're bringing people in. So I think maybe what we can do in the meantime is Hector, maybe you can kind of give some insight to some people who may not know you, which I doubt because I mean you've done a spectacular performance at CCS's most recent 13K. So your name is definitely out there, not only for that event, but for many other things, and huge inspiration for a lot of other players as well. So I don't want to take away too much out of for you to say it, but why don't you go ahead?
All right, well, my name is Hector. Before you guys even thought of TCGs, I was probably playing TCGs. I came from Cuba in 96. So by 97 or close to 98, I was in middle school. I learned about Pokemon cards. And no, I did not turn my phone sideways. It's still regular. All right. Well, like around 98, I learned about TCGs. I came from my background of chess. I used to play a lot of chess in Cuba. With my dad, I was, I guess, gifted at chess. And when I got here, transition was very hard because I didn't know English. So In middle school, I was, getting bullied and stuff for not knowing English. But then once I got my stride going, it was over. I learned about Pokemon back then. We didn't have much money growing up, but I remember that time where I hustled for my first Charizard. That's where it all began, in middle school. And then moving forward to around, I think, 2000, is when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And Yu-Gi-Oh! Was super fun. And I got to a point that I was very competitive for my chess days. So I figured, you know what, I want to start going to the next level, playing at regionals and things like that. And then from there, my first regionals, I got destroyed. And I thought, wait, what's going on? Why did this happen if I was doing so good at the local level? And then it took me a while to adjust. And then from there, it was just all history. I kept playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a good 10, 12 years. And it was consuming, right? I get obsessed with these games. And it came to a point that I had to stop. And I stepped away from the game because I realized it was taking too much of my time in other parts of life when it came to like building a business or like going to law school and things like that. So I just quit cold turkey for a good I want to say 10 to 12 years, but I was still really into the card games. So I was playing online card games here and there, like Magic Arena, which I loved. Um, and then from there, I started playing One Piece 'cause I thought it looked like a fun game. But One Piece took a while where we just couldn't get into events, right? So for a whole year, I couldn't get into competitive events. So I said, you know what, I'm done with this game. Can't really play anymore. And then from there, Lorcana came out. I thought the game looked super fun. It was rough at first because, as you guys know, there was no product, there was no tournaments. So it was really rough. So we were just playing for pins at that point. But with a little bit of time, things got better and they started releasing more events. And that's when a friend of mine, his name was Danny, he took me to Southside. He's like, "Hey, there's these cool guys over here. We got to go meet their shop, and I think you'll really like them." Right. And at that time, to be honest, I was in like a weird like, mid change where I didn't even want to play Lorcana because the local scene was kind of dead. You would go to like a locals. If you guys have families and kids and things like that, you know that like the time spent in these games, it takes a lot, right? So if you want to go to locals where you're spending eight plus hours of play, then you at least want to get rewarded for it the right way, right? Not like going for 8 hours and you end up playing for like $20 store credit or 4 packs. It doesn't feel good, like a good use of your time. So then ever since I walked into SSG, I saw their price support, the way they cared about the players. And in my mind, I was like, this is crazy. Why isn't this place filled all the time? Why doesn't this place have 20 plus, 30 plus locals? So thinking of back then, it was one of the best things to happen for the game and for me. We walked into SSG and we instantly connected with Devin, with the crew, and then from there it was all history. We started, look at where we are now. Locals are the way they're supposed to be. The community is amazing because of them. And I'm just glad to be able to be part of it and to be able to share this community with SSG.
Awesome. Thanks for the Hector. Um, and a true thing. Like I think, you know, with the store just kind of becoming like I, I think the mecca or the inspiration for a lot of other stores, not only at the local level but nationwide. They see our events, they see like the photos, the videos, all the social media. It's a dream for a lot of these shops. So and the thing that I think one of the things I'm really proud of is like the passion comes from not only the player base, but the business as well too. So the business, the people who own and run the business are players as well. So they respect it and not just look at it as like a means to an end. So and I think
Yeah.
that's a really big differentiating factor between you know Southside and maybe some other stores in the area and others that are struggling to maintain locals for not only Lorcana but maybe some other games as well too.
Yeah.
All right, great. So with the introductions aside, I'd like for us to move into our first topic, which will be discussion on the recent bans. So, Kylie, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on the
Yeah.
recent bans to Hiram Flaversham and Fortisphere?
So as a player, right? Every time I was obliterated by Hiram, just I'm discarding their hand, and here comes top deck Hiram. pop the popsicle, draw 2 cards, play a popsicle, get another card, kill my card. Next turn, top deck popsicle, play the popsicle, draw a card, quest for the diamond. It didn't feel good, right? But I think that the consistency that it brought and the power level that it had, because there weren't a lot of outs to it, was a problem. But I think that there's a world where, I was talking with, like, me and Hector were talking about this the other day. Cards could have been created possibly as a countermeasure to the card before necessarily having to ban it. So, like Pete, for example, right? You play Pete on 3, your opponent can't play actions next turn, right? What if you have an ability that says, hey, you play this character, right? Let's say it's Goofy, and play effects of characters don't trigger when entering until the start of your next turn, right? So you play this card, right? And then Hiram, if they play a Hiram, the ability on play doesn't happen, right? And other on play abilities don't happen, like Sisu on play ability wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? And I think there was a world where maybe cards like that could have existed. There could have been a card that said, hey, if this card is out, then your uh, items on field cannot, activate abilities, right? You can't pop a popsicle, you can't tap and pop a Vitalosphere. And I think that there was definitely a world where, you know, hindsight, they could have created some of these cards, but without something like that, then I do think it was correct to remove Hiram and Fortisphere, because Fortisphere, honestly, with Bell giving 8 cantrip targets to Sapphire Steel on turn 1 was definitely a big problem. Definitely a big. I mean, the consistency for them, and again, that's where maybe Bell could have been a 2-cost card, so she couldn't sing 3-cost songs, because 3-cost songs are some of the best threshold 4 songs in the game right now with Storm and Strength. Um, but I think, like, the way the game is designed right now and the way the cards are, I think that it was correct.
Can I add a point that you didn't mention, right? Where the alternatives, rather than banning Hiram and banning Fortisphere, I think what we do is we as players, we tend not to try to put it in their shoes, right? Or like as a let's take a look at it, right? Brand new game essentially, right? Opposed to comparable to every other game. Okay, you have to take into consideration as a company, all the other sets that you have planned to come out, on top of trying to figure out your place in the industry, not knowing or not realizing how well your game is going to explode, or how well the game was going to, or people were going to interact with the game, right? So I think we have to take in consideration too that it's still a brand new game. They're still trying to figure out, like, I guess their team, I would say. And maybe this could be, if you're later down the line where you have a game like, comparable to other games like Yu-Gi-Oh, or I wouldn't say One Piece, but like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon, you have the ability to do that. I mean, think about all the resources they have to put together to be able to create cards to change the power level of something like Hiram or something like Fortisphere, right? I mean, Hector, you came from the Yu-Gi-Oh world, right? How many times have you seen an immediate ban for certain cards throughout the game state, right?
Well, I'll jump in when you're done. I'll give my 2 cents on this because I'm seeing a
Yeah.
lot of comments. Some of them make sense, but the first thing I would say is like you say with game design, designing cards that cost 1 and they just cycle through the deck. I think this should have just never been done, right? For example, there was a time in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a 40 card deck, right? When you're trying to thin out the deck, some people were playing like Upstart Goblin, 3 copies of Upstart Goblin, just to cycle through the deck more and get to their cards faster, right? So it kind of feels like way where when they made the 1 cost items at first, that I don't think they should have just made them draw cards anyways, just because the 1 card Inkable that just draws a card and then has another effect just seems kind of crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
it stays on the board and then just the synergy is too much. So I think just putting them to draw cards was kind of like a mistake. Then to add to what a little bit what Kylie was saying is there's been some cards that have been released that they've been a little crazy, and you're saying that if some other cards would have come out to stop their effects, then it could have countered them. But let's look at it this way. So when Bucky came out first, obviously Bucky just made
The
regular
goat, baby.
cards.
The goat.
Yeah, Bucky just made regular cards be a little too strong, right? Where we were just playing vanillas in the deck just because it gave you a +1, right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah. Paladin, Jafar.
you add Diablo into the mix, and obviously Diablo had answers when it first came out. You know, people were playing Baboom, Fire the Cannons, things like that. But now look at Hiram, right? The only deck that has an immediate answer to Hiram, I think, is red, right? Where you're looking at Brawl and you're looking at Little Sisu, which we started playing a lot later in the format. But Hiram was just too overstated. First of all, he's inkable. And the problem that like Yu-Gi-Oh players, Pot of Greed, right? Pot of Greed and Yu-Gi-Oh drew two, no drawback. It was a broken card. Like people would, if you could play three Pot of Greeds, people would just play it. It's just
Yeah.
too crazy, right? So it got banned because it was too good. There was no drawback. So Hiram is kind of like the same. You play him, and when he quests, it's just a little too much. And then on top of that, even if he has one attack, cool, but his six, uh, his six stats is just too much. Like if you're playing against like an aggro deck or a deck that plays like early board, his 6 health is just so hard to trade into that it becomes a problem. And now the problem that the card has is just if you let it survive more than one turn, then your opponent can run away with the game, right? And then the example is if you start seeing all these red blue mirrors or like a lot of blue steel mirrors and stuff like that, whoever sees the most Hirams wins the game because they just don't run out of resources.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah, I
guess.
know. Like having to do like Zeus Plus on a Hiram as a Steel Sonic player felt really bad. And even then, like one of the things I'd like to do is kind of send like the Floodborn Robin Hood to finish it off to at least get some lore out of it, so I'm not exchanging too much resources just to remove the threat on the board. But you know, I kind of feel revitalized, right? I mean, the moment the ban was announced, I was ready to go to locals, and I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like an opportunity for innovation again. I almost feel the same way like when a new set comes out, right? Except instead of getting new cards, we just removed problematic cards that kind of limited other decks from existing.
Yeah.
Yeah, locals was fun last night. No Hiram. I saw everything. I saw Red Steel. I saw
So do
Discard
I.
back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Steel songs. I mean, it was the most diverse field I've seen in like two sets, and you really only took out like one key card that just made red blue, especially, just so oppressive. And I
We're
mean,
in a
That
I
card
saw
is
renaissance era.
too. That card is too much. But then now the problem stands of where like red blue. I guess it got to the point that it was too overpowered. But now it was gatekeeping on some of these decks, right? So now we have the problem that we go back to the discard scenario where red blue is gatekeeping some of these decks, but now discard is kind of crazy, right? Like that's another flaw in the game. Like you got Prince John who when your opponent draws cards, you draw, and then he just can't be interacted with, right? Like same thing
Oh,
will happen with Bucky. Bucky was like two ink where you just sits there. You don't even quest, right? He's just there to build your strategy. Same thing with Prince John. You got Prince John, which we can't target, we can't do anything to. He just sits there and just runs away with the game for you as long as you pair it well with a couple of discards. It's just
yeah.
that flaw. That's a big flaw in the game design. I think it's a
Yeah.
little too much. I saw some of the comments while we were watching. Yeah, that bell is broken. I agree, but if you don't have the items that draw cards, I think it's a little less because you just don't keep having resources to replace themselves, right? Like RMB just mentioned in the chat, like yeah, if you let's say you play the Fortisphere and you draw into the bell because you see an eighth card, right, on turn one, it just makes it a little more broken. If you don't have that draw, I think it's a little more, balanced in a sense.
Yeah, and but to add to that point though too, Hector is like think about this right. As you have Bell, if you're playing Blue Steel, you have access to Bell to a turn, literally a turn to Storm. I mean, man, like that just shuts down like Kylie's engine. Just makes the game almost like unplayable for them. They can't start their engine, right? And it just feels like so bad because not only are you clearing, their setup, it's more aware players, more players that are have more reps in. They're gonna notice that going into they're gonna play around it, but still the value's crazy. And they have a big body. I mean, to
I
start off
mean,
the
it's
game.
kind of like a little bit the same like in the meta where we had a lot of where it was Bucky and Red Purple, right? That you had Cinderella. Whenever your
Yeah.
opponent will go first and open with Cinderella, it's the worst feeling when turn one
Yeah.
they're either storming or strengthening whatever you play, right? It feels really bad. I do agree.
No, I
Bell is still
disagree.
broken
It
on
doesn't
one.
feel bad.
Yeah,
No, it's
Bell on one is very broken. It is a card that doesn't have it. So like if you Diablo on one or you Cinderella on one, and then your opponent counteracts you right with another Cinderella or another Diablo, right? You're back and forth, right? You can take out the other one. Bell is the only card right now that if I have the Cinderella, I can't kill the Bell, but the Bell can kill the Cinderella. If I have the Diablo, I shift the Diablo. Again, I can't kill the Bell, but the Bell can kill the Diablo. And I think that is where the biggest issue lies, where maybe, like I said, maybe Bell should have been a 2 cost,
yeah, I
two,
think they
three.
messed up on the design there too. But they're not gonna ban it because it's the newest set, right? Well, if
No,
you
Yeah.
think about it
maybe
from
when
like
they're locked.
for a company's point of view, like the set just dropped like a couple weeks ago, you know? Um they're not gonna go ahead and say, well, we got to ban Bell now, and then lose sales or
Yeah.
whatever it is when it comes to them.
Thankfully,
And
she's a
I
common
agree with
though,
the comment
so
that says Bell, Cindy, or Diablo on one are some of the best plays of the game.
Yeah, no,
Agreed.
So
absolutely.
Sometimes in the back in the meta where it was just a lot of green steel, even if it was an amber steel, right? Like if you went second and your opponent opens with Cindy, sometimes it just like I would just keep the Diablo in hand and not even
yeah.
like play it if I don't have it, just to not don't waste the ink, because then it felt so bad playing the Diablo and then they just storm
Mhm.
it and you lose the ink and now you're playing even more behind. So it
Yeah.
felt like really bad, right? So even then, but I agree, Bell's 3-3, which makes it a little different.
Yeah, it's just they they didn't print the answer to the Bell, and that's kind of what they need, right? They need the song that you sing for 3 that deals with a 3/3, or something that deals with the 3/3. So where Bell can also be checked, because I mean, if I'm scared to play my Diablo and Stefan's scared to play his Cinderella, somebody should be scared to play their Bell. There needs to be the immediate answer to the Bell. I think
I,
that's where the
I guess
game comes down.
they just made it feel they just thought that because Bell's dependent on an item, right? That sacks
Yeah.
an item, that that it was gonna be an okay game design, right?
Yeah.
But then having all these cards that draw and that are good one cost items just feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and R&B, you are right. I think, it has been a while. I think the designers are a little scared with what songs they print because, you know, there's just so many powerful cards to sing them. I mean, and having a removal spell that takes out a 3/3, I mean, it deals with way more than Bell. It deals with a Shmi. Um, it deals with a Crab. It deals with some of the most important key opponents in the game. And maybe Bell's stat line should have just been 3/2, 3 cost singer. So at least I can, if you can storm me, I can storm you right back, right? Like at least it's there, right? At least then the die roll comes down to it. You know what I mean?
Or even made her uninkable, right? That could have been something that would have been interesting
Yeah, I
too.
think he made a great comment saying that characters have scaled and the removal has not scaled.
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. We're getting characters that are becoming a little too overstated, or they're starting to cost less for a higher baseline of stats, and we're just not being able to keep up with removal, right? Like the last good removal that came out, what was other than Brawl for red, you got Zeus. Um, but I think every color needs to start having some sort of removal, so it makes the decks more viable, right? Because if not, people just stick to the removal colors, right? Like a lot of people play steel.
Yeah.
You
Red or
got
steel.
red, yeah, because when the Flaversham infestation was around, like you could only answer it with red, right? Or even Zeus doesn't kill it, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
That
was
that was
definitely
his booty was too big. He should have been a 1/5. He should have been a 1/5.
a one
Yeah.
four.
Or
Make him a 1/4 or less. It's
1/4.
still
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
and
just
it's
too crazy.
yeah. When you look at other games too, like there would be a cool like if they had some sort of interaction to where like I used to play a lot of Hearthstone where they had spell damage, right? To where maybe you have a character that has deal +1 damage when you sing a song. Something like that would be pretty interesting to implement it too, right? So, but they
Yeah.
don't even have
Yeah,
anything like that.
I agree with what they're saying in the chat. Yeah, the removal was 4 steps ago. Also, I think the games are starting to pick up speed, right? So I think we got to get into the territory where like there has to be more removal for more colors, right? For example, Blurple's a good deck. A friend of ours plays it. Shout out to him. But sometimes when they go wide, you can't answer it, right? So why not start just giving removal for multiple colors that even if they're not known for it, right? Like blue board wipe where you put everything into ink, things like that, or for yellow, something that bounces all characters on board to the hand. I don't know, things like that, right? To just make the game a little more like viable, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, removal kind of, but keeping what the color does itself. So like, yeah, you might be able to wipe somebody's board in blue, but you're giving your opponent like 3 to 4 ink. So there is a drawback to it. But I think you're right. And like Beefcake even makes a point like, nothing great to remove Daisy except for a Sisu or a Brawl still. Like the same cards that took out Hiram is the same thing that removes Daisy. A lot of the removal is power based, and there's not a lot of stuff that's like toughness based where, maybe to incorporate like maybe purple could have removal based on toughness, and you know what I mean? Like just something where they kind of like broadly spread it where like every deck has a fair chance to like take things off the board.
That's another. I see something R&B mentioned. A good one. If you don't want to give board wipes to just one general color, like tie the board wipes to like a multicolor card, right? So at
Yeah.
least it gives those strategies like a an extra push because it's really bad some of these decks where you just have to like if you want to play competitive, right? To some extent, you have to play something that could be able to tackle the meta because if not, then it just doesn't cut it, right? And at this point, it was blue, so they had to have Flaversham, but now people like look like we saw earlier, Diablo went up to 50 already, right?
Yeah,
So
Diablo's up there.
people are gonna be spamming Diablo, and then there's gonna be a talk. Oh, Diablo's this, Diablo's that. Like, what about Prince John? What about all those discards? They suck. They're very toxic for the game.
I disagree. No. But
I think
I
there
I
might
can
be a
agree.
little
I can
bias
agree
in
with
that
it.
statement.
I can agree with it. Sometimes it doesn't feel good when like, you discard every card your opponent has in their hand and they're just kind of sitting there like, well, what do I do? So and it
Well,
is true. But I do think they, as a discard player, they haven't printed too much for discard the past two sets either, right? They've been
it's because they don't need to. You
no,
literally
yeah, yeah.
in the
They don't
earlier
really have to do it.
sets, you just made all the cards that synergize with each other and that
Mhm.
make the game sometimes unplayable for your opponent.
Yeah.
Right? You in one set, they don't need to make any more. You want more?
No, no, no. Hey, listen,
It's
you're right. You're
definitely
right.
not.
But I'm saying that they at least you could see that they respected it, right? They're like, look, okay, they have sudden chill, they have hypnotize, they have Prince John. I don't. They have Lucifer, they got Anna. Like, we'll chill for a bit. They're doing their thing.
Yeah, you imagine they start printing characters that once they enter play, they make your opponent discard a card, or
Yeah, like more Lucifer
uh
stuff.
yeah, I was looking through the forums the other day and somebody posted like a card design. They said that it would be cool that if you play it, you look at your opponent's hand, force them to discard a character of your choice, and if they do, you draw a card. I still think that's pretty bad, right? Like you look at their hand, you get all the information, you make them discard the card that will hurt you the most at the cost of them drawing a card. Cool, but I already got all the information you need, right? Like it's and that will be too crazy to the game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. In respect to the schedule, I do want to move on to our next segment, but however, this looks like a topic we could definitely expand upon in a future episode or maybe some other written content or something. So, note to self. All right. Our next segment that we're actually going to jump into right now is a review of our 15K charity event featuring Peter Mundo. Unfortunately, Devin wasn't there that weekend, but I'd like to maybe get some insight from Kylie and Hector since they were actually players in the event. And then I'll give a little bit of insight on things behind the scenes and kind of how the event came to fruition, as well as like just want to make sure to bring some recognition to some of the really important people that have like helped not only in the planning of it but the execution, and ultimately just make these events really help fill the gap of the lack of the official tournament play right now. We're still waiting for Worlds announcements, other DLCs, anything like that. So like, we try to, fill that void with a similar as reasonably possible experience. But yeah, Kylie, you want to maybe give us some insight on your run on Saturday?
Um, I think I played blue every round, and I mean it was a fun time. It was definitely a fun time. I think that event was very very important. The data to kind of see where Sapphire was at that time. Um, I think it was ran really really well. I mean, I helped plan it, but when I'm there playing, I'm not really running. But I mean, every time we do an event, me, Stefan, Devin, the team, Hector, we sit down and we're like, all right, where can we do better, and what are we gonna change? And if you guys have come to like some of the events, or you've gone to one or two, or if you've come to every event, you notice that it changes a little bit every time, and we adapt and we just make it better. I think it was really cool to have the second stream table out there. It kind of gave people something to watch in between rounds. Um, and like in the physical store itself. Um, I think that the interview was very, very neat, and I think that it gets players ready that have never gone to a DLC for what they can expect. The longevity of the day, how the rounds are going to go, the interaction with your opponents for a judge call, um, and adding additional space does help too. I am sweet, but and then
Let me know when. Let me know when. I'll do it.
yeah, Devin will take another spot if we can. There's a pool guy next door, and we've been working on him right now. We're like, you really need a pool store right now?
Southside pools coming soon.
Yeah, chlorine, baby, come get your chlorine. But I think it ran very well. I think that everybody had a good time. I think we had the most, I think, special guests at this one out of anyone we've had. I know we had the Forbidden Mountain there. Shout out to those guys. Great group of people. A lot of them were playing. Dan was doing the interviews in the back. We had Liam from the Illumineers there. Also, shout out to him. Amazing person. Him and his wife. Amazing content they put out. Peter Raimundo was there with his wife Dorothy. And if you guys have never met them, oh my God, some of the sweetest people in the world. And then, I mean, we had we didn't have any Worlds players there, but we had big names in the field. We had Jonathan Williams, poor guy, great guy, always getting second. Always getting second.
Hey, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it and take it home when it matters.
He got
to be fair, he got Sunday. So
Sunday, he did get Sunday. I congratulated him. I said, "Bro, I'm happy for you. I was rooting for you." And he goes, "But it ain't the main event."
That sounds like something Jonathan Williams would say.
That's what he said to me. I said, "You know what, John? But you're gonna get a main event. I don't know which main event, but you're gonna get one."
But how impressive is it that you have somebody that continuously not only tops, but he's always making an appearance.
Oh yeah, he's a great player. I mean, and he's a nice guy.
He's a
person. He's honestly a person I'd love to get in here one time too. Jonathan, if you're watching, bro, the invite's coming, bro. I'm gonna see.
Yeah. And listen, guys. So a lot of the viewers in our chat, whoever come to the shop, I mean, I don't want to speak on Jonathan's behalf, but I guarantee you, if you have any questions, and he's every interaction I ever had with him, super nice, super gentleman. Don't be scared to go up to some of these individuals, especially if they play your color combination, and don't be intimidated to talk, because these guys, they have it down packed, man. And I tell this to Hector all the time, because Hector's one of those guys with blue red. Talk to them, pick their brains. That's what we have the space for, right? Again, I don't want to just speak on their behalf, but like I said, we have a great community. I'm sure they wouldn't mind.
Yeah. And so Hector, I don't, you were El Capitan that day, and you were calling out bounties and stuff. So how do you think everything went that day?
All right. Well, starting off, my run sucked. Right. Be honest.
It's because I wasn't there. No, it's because I wasn't there to root you on, my boy.
Bro.
Coming hot from CCS, it was a special moment for me. The whole team was there. I was feeling good, and I came in and got destroyed.
Not gonna lie. Everybody in that room wanted to beat you.
And
everybody wanted to beat you. So
they did. I mean, my wife was happy because they sent me home early. So
Yeah. Hey,
so
we
they did
got,
me
they
a
had a
favor.
humble Hector. They had a humble Hector.
They did me a solid, right? No, but yeah, I was in charge of the bounties. We were trying something different this time. Where we give it like a little surprise factor so that everybody that's on the team or affiliated with us or that works at the shop that's playing the event, had a fair shot at at a bounty. And I thought that was, that was a little better. So it looked like it worked great. We were missing Devin's energy. It had several people were like, "Oh, where's Devin? Why is he not giving the speech? The I'm so grateful speech,
I know,
Like
guys.
he
I'm
had a
sorry.
dream, but the boss sometimes he has other endeavors that he had to handle that were important,
Yeah,
so we try to do without him, right?
yeah,
Everything else was great. What I do love about this shop is, like I said, not to toot our own horn, but these tournaments are keeping the game afloat. If you think about it, there's not many big events in the US that are crazy, right? Like we got Charlie's, and now based on us doing all these crazy events, a lot of the shops are starting to step up to try to take care of the community. And it's just been growing the community, right? Our community is getting better. But imagine if these events weren't around. What would everybody do, right? Like all these competitive players, what would you do? And it's such a high level event that anybody that comes down, like you could feel it, right? This is not like a DLC where you have like 2,000 players where you could avoid a lot of the top players in the first 5 rounds. Maybe lock in the top 64. But here in the field, there's 150, 170 players. Every round, it could be somebody that's, that is really good at the game, that has some accomplishment. So that's great. And then on top of that, if you think about it, every event we're kind of leveling up. Now we have interviews, we're doing deck profiles, and I feel like the community should be excited for that. I'm excited. I usually go back and watch all the matches when I get home, and it gives you something to look forward to, right? So I have to say we're very blessed to have that in Florida, where once a month we have these tournaments that um, we could hone our skills and not just play locals, right? Imagine you just have to play locals constantly from here on till, I don't know, 2026 when they decide to drop announcements, right? Like it will kind of suck for us competitive players and even for the newer community, right? So this has definitely been good. Stefan ran great with the stream. The commentators are, I'm gonna be honest, I every time I look at other streams, sometimes I can't compare the commentators because I'm like, damn, these are my guys. They know how to work well, and so far everything has been great. Only complaints were Devin not being there, um, because he sold us out, but
sorry,
it's
guys.
okay.
Oh my
he
goodness.
went to play
De-
Yu-Gi-Oh, guys.
De-
Just so
I did
everybody.
not go play
I'm
Devin,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
kidding.
Devin, why
guys.
don't you show them one of the reasons why you weren't there?
Nah, I don't want to do that.
Nah, show them, show them. If
Yeah, you
you're
gotta
not
show.
I
committed,
did it, yo. I'm committed,
There
guys.
we
There it is.
go.
I'm committed.
He
Yeah.
was getting it stamped. He was
I
getting it
know.
stamped in LA.
I love it
Unfortunately,
though because if you look at the first one he has,
look at the
I
first one,
told
guys.
him, I said, look at where you started and look at where we are. And that is a really great symbolism there.
First off, the reason why I got this one right and the placement of it, it was more like I've never been the one to just get when you're a little younger, you have like your boys or you're in I don't know college and you're like oh let's go get matching tattoos. That's pretty much this right here is just a symbol of like us doing something. Me, Joey, and for those of you guys who knows our community manager Noe, um, we just sporadically just went up one day and said, let's just get a tattoo of SSG. And pretty much it's just a symbol of, what we believe in. We believed in each other. This is before, this is when we had one bay. We can only fit 30, a capacity of occupancy of 30 people, including staff. It was crazy. So,
I want to add also something that's great about these tournaments is where we're getting so many new players and making new friends. A good example, the person I play around with, Beefy Baby, I believe that's his name. I know her dad's in the chat. Her dad's name is Beefcake. 11 years old. She came all this way down to this tournament. I had a great talk with her dad right after our round match, and her dad explained to me that she was, feeling a little anxious when they went to
Aw.
the 5K before, but then she was getting, a little better every event, and she was able to start playing, and she was getting confident, and she was really
oh,
cocky too. She
oh.
even
I
stole a slice of pizza
Hey,
from me.
Let's
I
go. Listen,
But
guys, listen.
saw.
Come on, real quick. Let me just say something real quick because that like
Yeah.
warms my heart. That is exactly why we do what we do. So, because when you come into this space, especially as a new card player, right, or anything new, it's kind of like you get a little intimidated. But the confidence boost and learning from the previous events, whether it was a mistake or just getting those little butterflies out of the system and playing against the number first place winner at CCS, Hector. Right. I mean,
um,
listen, that's amazing. I love that. That makes you
there
have no
was
idea.
another specific individual that came for her first time. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. I played
Mhm.
her in a side event on the very first round. She said that her husband has come before to our tournaments,
Okay.
but she felt some type of way about coming because she had her service dog with her.
Okay.
And she
Oh,
said
I
she
know
called the
exactly who you're
she
talking
said she
about. Yeah.
called the shop and that we were cool
Oh
with,
yeah, yeah.
with the service dog, and they set her up in a corner, and she felt great that she was there. And I asked her, how was your experience so far? She told me she was having a great time, that they'll definitely come back. And I think that's what this is all about, right? We run these events, we meet new people, and people are starting to, get the courage to show up, even though it's a really huge venue. Players could be intimidating, and just seeing new players come and learning the game and just wanting to play, it makes you feel good about yourself, right? It's not only about winning and being the best team or whatever it is. It's just you're growing the community, and you got people that look up to you or can actually visit here and just want to play. Like example, Beefy Baby and her dad, super cool guy. He came down here, he cleaned up shop. I was rooting for him, but it was just great. And then of course I see my nemesis Dreams. Like, I just can't beat that guy.
Dreams,
Like, it just that guy.
Nemesis, bro.
I just can't beat him. Like, this
I
man
got
has
him. I got him for
every
you guys
time.
early, bro.
Somebody kick him out the chat, man. Kick him out the chat.
Sometimes you tech for the mirror, sometimes you tech to target a specific
Yeah,
archetype,
yeah, yeah.
and then sometimes you tech to target a specific player.
Yeah,
And
Hey,
then-
follow.
100%.
This specific person, like, man, I am 0-4. I haven't beat him in a game. It's just
We need
it's
a
like
grudge match then between you two. We got to set that up. Dreams and Hector grudge match.
this man has my number on speed dial. Like,
Listen,
there's no it's,
just,
He
hey,
knows your deck, bro. He knows the 61
just,
card layout you got, bro. Every time.
just don't play Hector again. Just make sure you have an undefeated record against him, like I do.
no,
Right?
no, no. One day.
Listen, I picked up the game the first term I ever played in. Ask Hector about me.
Don't get me started about you. Don't get me started about you.
Oh,
Hey,
In
listen.
Dreams, I'm gonna carry a second deck, right? Like, I'm gonna make sure that I see what he's playing. I'm gonna carry a second deck in my bag, and if we
man.
queue up, you better be ready, because I'm gonna rock you with the extra
What if
deck I have on the side.
what if
Because
neither deck can beat him, bro? What if he beats both?
then you know what, I'm cooked. Like, that's it. Like,
But
that man, I gotta get that man a hat, because he's
yeah.
taking more prize support from me than half the tournament has.
Yo,
So
I love it.
we own like 2 cases of Jafar, to be honest with you. He just
We
said,
really?
yeah, bro. He said,
Hey,
this
listen.
man,
Hey,
this
listen.
man cleaned me out.
Hey, you heard it from me first. All right, we're gonna go ahead and add an extra case for you. All right, don't get mad at me, Hector.
No, stop.
even
This
on
man-
the
No, make him work for it. Double or nothing.
And then we're
Double or
gonna
nothing.
make Hector sign it too.
Listen, this man had the audacity to destroy me,
Oh,
and then
man.
goes up to the front after trading his box for store credit. He's like, "What I gotta do to get a hat?" And at that point, I just turned
No.
around. I'm like, "Thank God we don't have hats in the shop, because I'm gonna have to give this man one."
No, he's
Nah,
getting
but
that.
No,
yeah, he's getting
they
a
would
hat.
have been like, no,
He's getting a hat.
said, no, I don't want a hat. He goes, I want Hector's hat.
Ooh,
Nah,
Hector,
Hector has the
the
OG
sweat stains
prototype
and
hat.
all, baby. The sweat
He has the
stains
OG
and all.
prototype hat.
Nah, I stole my hat. I stole my. Oh, you want a hat, R&B? When you come down, we got you. We got you with a
Do
hat.
we have his size?
In shirt?
He's.
I'm sure.
The
What
hat.
are you talking about?
The
The
hat?
hat, man. These hat, bro. Let me tell you, I have the biggest head in the game, and it fits me. So I'm pretty sure it fits anybody.
All right, sweet.
So just
Um,
regular, but I think that's also cool to get hats to have at the shop, because people, now that the brand is getting recognized, right? People come, and it's crazy. Um, we went to Collecticon, and people were asking about us and things like that. Made us feel good. Like, people knew who we were. So now, we're growing. So the merch is coming.
Yeah, we might just have to get a bunch of hats, and if somebody beats Hector, they just get a hat. You're
Bro,
like
stop. You're gonna need a
locals.
factory. You're gonna need a factory of hats, bro.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Chugging along with our scheduled segments, I'd like to actually have Hector um, get us going for the next segment. So we actually have another special guest. Um, Hector, I don't know if you want to say some words really quick before you give me the okay to bring them in. So I'll let you start off.
Well, so right now we originally started our team with like locals. We wanted to keep it local because we want to, practice with each other, get involved with each other. So our team at the moment consists of myself, our other player named Jack. His name is Ghosty online. Some of you guys know him, and our other friend Ray. But I spoke to Devin, and we felt like it was time to hopefully try to get acquainted and bring somebody in that was one of the greatest players in the game, I believe. Maybe a future world champion in the making.
Mhm.
So we reached out, we spoke to him, we resonated, all of us, we had the same goal in mind, and he decided, to take the plunge to join our team. So I want you guys to introduce our special guest. His name is Zach Bivens.
A true golden
What's
child.
up? What's up?
Hey, Zach.
Mr. Zach Bivens in the house.
Hey guys, good to be here.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So
Ooh,
this
gives me
man.
chills, baby.
probably the worst kept secret besides the Hiram and Fortisphere ban. Uh, Zach actually, he some people spotted him wearing the Southside shirt at CCS and had a ton of questions.
Gosh, yeah.
Um, Thankfully, he was able to play very coy, so I appreciate that from a marketing perspective. But Zach, I don't know. I'm let us know kind of how you feel so far about being on the team, what you look forward to. What how maybe I can get some steel song coaching. You know.
No, he doesn't coach, man. He denied my coaching. I asked him actually back in the day. I sent his buddy and I asked him, man, can he, I want to get a lesson with him because he had just topped an event. He had just topped Bucky meta with Green Yellow. So I was just about to go play the deck and I wanted like coaching from him, and his friend promised me, he's like, yeah, he'll give you the coaching lesson. He was too good for me, man.
Left him on red.
Yeah.
Oh, he did
I
the same
love
thing to
it.
me too. Don't worry about it.
Nah. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Like, if anyone that's followed my Lorcana journey so far knows that I've very much been a lone wolf. Like, just didn't have any intentions of joining a team. This thing just all kind of came together when I went to SSG for the first time last month, and like kind of fell in love with the store, what you guys were trying to accomplish. Like, it aligned with what I have really big goals in Lorcana, and I'm really close to a lot of players there in the area already. So I mean, the partnership made a lot of sense to me. So I'm just excited for what we're going to accomplish, what I can bring to the store and to the team. So yeah, appreciate you guys.
Awesome, great. And
Likewise.
we one of the things, actually kind of like an inside joke, and I promise I do pay attention to when people talk to me, but I had asked Zach if when he was ready to come to our charity event, he had to tell me 300 times that no, I have prior engagements, but he will, as long as nothing's changed. He is set up to come join us during our May 3rd and May 4th event. So we're pretty excited to have him come down. I'm sure Devin's going to put a bounty on him, make him feel right at home. So
You already know. You know it. You
Biggest
know
bounty
it.
in the room.
Good. I'm tired of giving away free prize awards, so let's pass it on to Zach so Zach could take the mantle and hold it down because I'm getting too old.
Oh man. But one thing I do want to say, first and foremost, I know that we finally were able to come out and introduce Zach as part of the SSG family, and I not forget about how talented and driven and well put together Zach is. He is absolutely a gentleman, and he fit the team so well. I remember the first interaction I had with you, Zach. Man, I gotta tell you, you're a stand up guy, bro, and we couldn't be more happier and proud to have you part of the team, especially this early in the stage of this game, because we do believe that you are one of the 4 founding fathers of the game itself, and you have a lot of individuals that look up to you, and I gotta tell you, man, we're super proud to have you wear the SSG brand, and we're excited what the future holds, man. We really do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You forgot to tell them that you cooked me in that first interaction we had.
Listen, I gotta tell you, they told me that listen, I didn't want to just when we were playing, I'm like, oh, boom, boom, and I was playing Blurple at the time, and I missed the deck so much now, and hopefully, it can see some play now. But everyone should know.
Oh God,
I want to know against, I got
building his
Hector,
ego.
I got Bivens. I'm just kidding.
Stop building his ego. Oh, I see
But
it.
I
One
want-
of my
He keeps
teammates talking
saying that
crap.
they too.
Talking crap in the chat, huh?
No,
Is be your friends, huh? And then somebody else said that Zach looks handsome. He is, man. That haircut. I wish I had that hair, but
Can I actually bring a good point that we just stated? So, being somebody that, obviously, I take a lot of time into building the brand with the team, right? It's not just because of me; it's because of the contributions of everyone in the community. So I don't have the ability to be able to focus on and grind and have the reps as much as everyone else, as much as I would like to, right? Because I would literally be right there with everyone. I'm super passionate about this game, but the point is that being able to sit across and play with Zach, and being able to, again, you do a lot of large numbers, man. You go play 100 games, it's going to be different. But the point is that getting that win, and you being as a gentleman that you are, and like the experience gives you confidence, right? And that's what we want to provide for everyone. So I experienced it firsthand, and it's great.
yeah, and that's it. That's a good environment at SSG, right? Like if you think about it, anybody that comes down to these big events, like every round is a banger. You're playing
Yeah.
somebody that has some sort of skill level, right? And you can learn something from every player. And think about it, there's no DLCs, you really can't see your favorite big players, right? But we got DLC Margate down here, so pack your bags and try to make one of our events, because it's always worth it. I can tell you that.
Oh, you can't give a little Easter eggs for what the future holds, Hector. Come on now.
Oh yeah, we're cooking up something nice.
Oh, we got something nice for everyone, my
Cooking
man.
up something.
No, and the moment, I'm telling you guys, I keep joking about it. The moment we bring in the coffee machine for Cuban coffee, you guys are done. You're gonna be here every week. You guys think I'm joking? It's coming.
Yeah,
We have one
and
hidden in the
Hector
back.
also-
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, Hector also brings pastelitos on the event days too.
Yeah,
So-
I bring Cuban breakfast every event
Let everyone
available.
know what it is. You got to describe
For
it. You
free.
can't just say Cuban breakfast. You got to
We
explain
got
what it is.
we got some croquetas. We got some guava pastries. We got Venezuelan empanadas.
The best
You know,
empanadas.
like
Venezuela
yeah.
is the best empanadas.
Exactly. Look, somebody likes the Cuban coffee machine. I'm telling you, that's next. It's coming up. That's how you can tell the best service. I'll sit there. I'll make the coffee myself. I'll deliver the coffee. I'll deliver the coffee to your round table. And be like, here's your pick me up. It's over. That's it. That's all we need.
Oh man.
Awesome. I kind of want to go back a little bit actually, because we didn't have Zach on prior. Maybe if we could just spend a couple minutes, kind of get your insight. What are your thoughts on the recent bans, and how that will affect what you're planning to do or bring to Worlds when that happens?
Yeah, so as far as Worlds, I mean, we kind of need details. Is it going to be set 7, set 8? Like we definitely need details before I can really even discuss that, I think. But I think the bans are very much needed. We definitely needed to see it. Hiram was too strong. It was just insane. So I'm happy to see that gone. And I think Fortisphere makes sense. I think also Bell, like R&B was saying, would make sense too, of course. But I think having Tamatoa 6 in the game, you just can't have 8. You can't have Tamatoa drawing 2 every time. So it needed to go to. Either that or Popsicle needed to go, as well as making Bell 2 good. I know other one drop items can be printed and Bell's still good, but being able to replace itself, not going down the card because you're replacing it with Fortisphere. So I think both bans make total sense and needed to happen. So I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I said, I'm not so much doomsaying it, but I just like I said, I'm more of a glass half full type of guy. So like I again, we're ripe for innovation, right? We might see some decks enabled that have just been sleeping just because simply two cards just like delete it from its existence. So I'm
I mean,
excited.
it does open up the, it opens up the, the gateway for all these decks to come back. I know there's a lot of locals that love red purple, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people are excited because now it could actually have a chance, in my
Oh, yeah.
opinion.
George is in the chat.
Yeah, everybody's excited about that, and our Steel Song Doomsayers too. God, I hate you guys. I can see
Hey, we're
Chuck.
back, baby.
So,
We're back. We are so back.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
think,
So now,
can I ask a question
so
though? So what do you guys think? Now, I mean, we've been discussing that it needed to get banned, right? What do you think? Does it do anything to the? I'm sure, of course, it's going to do something to the power level of the decks that it's in. But are people going to stop playing? The blue steel decks with the way with the that version of the blue steel, or even red blue. Do you think they're going to steer away from the that blue steel
I
combination?
mean,
Or
I think the decks are they're still very powerful, right? Like you got the Sisu line, you got the Coil Sisu. I think the decks are still very powerful, but now you're gonna get more punished for certain line as to before if you do certain things, right? And then you have Flaversham to back you up and get you back in the game, then it wasn't a problem. But
yeah,
now you have to, think more about the lines and to how you play certain things just because if you do something and then they break the board or they counter what just happened, you're not going to have as much resources, right? So you have to hold on to more resources, I think.
Yeah,
Flaversham was just too good, right? Like
yeah,
you could just you could run out of cards while clearing the board, and then some. And here comes Flaversham from the top, drawing you two, and then it brings you back to life. Without it, it's just a lot harder to come back in games. So you have to play a little more tighter, I think.
yeah.
yeah.
And
Hector's absolutely right. Like, even Tipo now. Tipo's, you ink for turn, you play a Tipo, you take a card out of your hand. That's 3 cards in one turn. You don't get to play the Hiram the turn after to replenish your hand. So, like, if you're playing a discard type deck, it can be brutal. So, it definitely makes it where the deck has to check itself because you can run out of resources easier, and you can punish yourself for just overextending. Fishbone Quill, especially, like, if you're ramping, you quill yourself, and you don't have Hiram to just kind of like fall back on, and it can be detrimental to those game strategies in those two decks.
yeah. Well, let me ask you a question, guys, because and again, I know not to take the wrong with this, but like it brings up a good point because as you're deck building, right, and you see that on that turn 3, you do want to play a Hiram, but now it opens up doors for other I guess options. Now you still got Tala, right? You still have other place like that. So do you think, like I said, what other options do you think someone can use opposed to Hiram?
I mean, people are gonna start trying like Prince John, the item Prince John,
Mhm.
just because it kind of looks like it could fit there, but it's not as consistent as Flaversham, right? Like you could play it, and then it takes a full turn before it does anything, which is kind of not bad, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what we got, right? You could play Tala, but Tala gives you one card, and it's a 3/3 that could be answered right away, so it's not something that will fully just get you back in the game. So
Mhm.
there are things you could play it, but not as game breaking as Flaversham was, right? So now you
Sure.
just have to be a little more careful. Like somebody's saying in the chat, I still believe Shark is extremely good if it works out, right? But you just don't have the same resources without Flaversham.
Yeah.
Also, I think people might try like the Chicha line now
Mhm.
with the
Mhm.
Quill, just because you need another line to draw, right? And Chicha was used before where people would just Chicha with one jump, Quill, and things like that to
Yeah.
draw cards. So that might be seeing some play, I think.
Mhm.
But who knows, right? We have to wait to a couple of events and some of the greatest innovators in the game to try some of these decks and see if they're consistent.
Yeah. Would you what type of advice would you give somebody that, because again, this set just came out, everyone went out there going and buying the new Tamatoa. Everyone, especially the place of enchanters. What would you recommend? Because we don't know where the market's going to go, right? Especially they just announced it. So would you
I
recommend
mean,
holding?
all these at some the market's gonna correct itself a little bit with these Tamatoa prices and some of these things. Just 'cause Tamatoa was like a crazy card, right? But now that blue steel is not as consistent, I want to say, well, not as crazy, and same as red blue, I think the Tamatoa will tank a little bit. Kind of
Sure.
sucks because these enchanted Tamatoa is costing me an arm and a
So
leg.
good.
So man, why couldn't they wait another
Uh,
month? Give me a chance to at
uh,
least recover some money, right? But damn,
uh,
hurt my pocket.
He's sitting at like 40,
Um,
$50 right now. So him and Diablo are kind of neck and neck right now.
yeah,
Sell the
yeah. I mean,
Thomas to me, blue steel boomers. I love it. I love it.
Diablo, of course, like that's the first thing you think about, right? Like if there's no Flaversham to come back from a discard strategy, then you don't do much. And then the deck that kept it on check mostly was red blue. So without red blue, it's kind of hard, right? People are definitely going to try green steel because it seems like a powerhouse. And same thing with like Zach and the Doomsayers and Amber Steel. If you know how to play that deck well, then that's another powerhouse that sometimes it feels like you can't even play the game, right? Like if they go first and they curve out into a whole new world with multiple kill spells, you just sit there like, oh well, I guess I can't do
Yeah.
anything. At
Yeah.
least red blue you can ramp and answer things while ramping and then get to a point where like you develop a Sisu or something like that. But now it's crazy. I might even try Amber Steel. I need some coaching lessons.
Yeah, come on over. The water's good.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You on that deck would be crazy, bro.
Hey, but
No,
hold on, the
because
Cindy's look beautiful though. I'm not gonna lie.
but I have to add because there's some locals in our area that they're tryhards with Amber Steel and they say I can't do it. I just want to do it just to prove them wrong.
Mm.
I bought Chuck's guide.
Bring
I'm
it.
reading the guide and everybody's catching hands at these locals.
Stefan,
You'll see.
Stefan, what are we doing? We doing Naveen or no? The deck play Naveen or not?
It's funny that you mentioned that because
Bivens, you gotta
yesterday
tell us
when
your
I
insight
laid
too.
when I laid out the deck after playing, and the thing is that like I truly remember every single time Naveen has helped me more than it's hurt me. Like, yes, it truly sucks to get stuck on 3 ink, no uninkables because, all the rest uninkable. You can't get to the Naveen, you can't do the Zeus, you can't do the whole new world. But to me, that has happened like very, very little. And I think the deck does still suffer from the possibility that it kind of defeats itself. But when it does take off, you know, like Naveen for me is such a huge like tempo swing. Like they could wipe your board of singers and then they have one card left in play and like you just do Naveen Zeus or Naveen Storm. You draw a card and then now you have a singer established and they have no answer for the Naveen. You can sing Whole New World afterwards and you're back in the game. So, it's scary to not do it anymore based on the new build that I'm working on right now. But I'm pretty excited again for the renovation or the innovation that's going to come.
You say renovation as well.
Also, I mean, maybe Zach could chime in on here since I don't know much about Amber Steel. I think I played it once in like set one. But now that like kind of red blue is kind of like a little slower and things like that, maybe you don't have to, play some of the early drops that need to survive with a lot of health, right?
That's
Like they
true.
love Nala. I know you love Daisy and things like that, but that could just sit, like make more space for more mid-rangey since you don't need to like
Yeah,
really go too crazy with the two questers or the lower questers, right?
yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
see a world where that may. Oh, go ahead, Zach.
Well, as far as Naveen, like that card's insane. It's really really good, but like its highs are extremely high, but the lows are so low. And in a deck that has so many uninkables, like I cut him a long time ago, and I've been super happy that he's gone. I think the lows are just really low. And if you play cards like Gaston instead, uh, not only is it inkable, but the main thing I love about Gaston is that it increases your mulligan consistency, which is something that a lot of people don't necessarily think of. It allows you to keep Whole New World in your opening hand, whereas with Naveen, I'm not keeping Naveen in Whole New World. It's just asking for trouble. So just if you think about other factors, like Gaston just offers a whole lot more, in my opinion. And also, like Hector was saying, I think with Red Blue on the down, I think you can bring back stuff like Robin Hood. I think
Yep.
Robin Hood's a lot better now. And
Into
then you don't have to
the
play.
matches, yeah.
Yeah,
Stefan,
like
good deck.
he's a great card. It gives you the shift, sing whole new world option. 6 health
Yeah.
is amazing. Yeah, so I think Still Song is in a very good place with this ban. I'm really excited to start cooking on a new list now.
Let's go. I love
But
that.
I don't think but I think it's not going to be oppressive, which is going to be what's really good. I think that
Right.
it's going to be like a very balanced, like, you know, you can beat Steel Songs, right? If you go faster, if you get some Pete's out. And
Stop lying. Just stop lying to yourself.
What?
It is super oppressive. It is super oppressive no matter what. Every single time.
Is this coming from
Like,
the red-blue player?
Bro,
right here?
it is super oppressive.
from the
Whenever
red
they
blue
go
guy?
first and they curve out, like, you see like the light in their eyes go out. It's super oppressive.
Yeah, but
Except
when you
against
play
Red Blue.
Pete, when you
He's
play
not
Pete,
wrong.
slam the Pete, baby. Just slam the Pete and just
Slam the Pete. Pete's a real thing, man.
Purple Steel.
Also-
Another deck that Zach's like definitely known for. Zach, what do you think? Can Purple Steel beat Amber Steel
Purple-
right now?
It can. It's the matchup is very play draw dependent, and like you really have to know what you're doing from the purple still side. Like the still song side is real easy, but if you're a good purple still player, yeah, it's a very close to even matchup for sure.
There's hope for you, Hector. Purple Steel, bro.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no. I will die on this hill. I'll try some Red Blue jank if I have to.
Nah, purple
Shout out
still's
to-
where it's at, bro.
Who's gonna do it, man? It's gonna be Hector though with the red blue. I'll tell you that. So
We'll see. We'll see. I have to give it a shot, right? Because I hate just giving up on stuff. Oh, my nemesis says he'll teach me Purple Steel. Good. I'll learn it from you and then I'll try to beat you with it.
Oh man.
Nice. Awesome. Well, just to have a little bit more time and remain on schedule, I do want to talk about our last segment before we sign off for the day. And we're actually going to touch base on some updates to our upcoming May 3rd and May 4th event. That's right. We are officially turning this into a 2-day event. So for those of you interested in coming, you can start making your arrangements now for flight, hotel, if you're that far or if you're close by. Let me share the details first.
first and foremost, let me just say one thing real quick. You guys gotta be out here. This is the first event where this is the welcome to the team, essentially the Bivens, Zach Bivens event. This is gonna be a crazy event. Every event you guys want to come to. Not to steal the spotlight. I'm sorry. I'm a little excited for this next event.
No, I know. Devin has, I think that's one of the things before we show off the graphic. One of the things like, these events, everyone's like, well, how do you afford it? And like, how, like the prize pool and stuff like that. And it's never, he doesn't care in the sense of like, if it brings in the way the event happens, it's like, you can't really put a price on that experience as a store owner, as the people that are working production, the players. I think just everyone like just really just benefits from it. And it like, I honestly haven't heard one complaint that is something that like needs to be addressed. Like everyone is just they're having a good time. I'm getting like the DLC vibes, if there's any other way to describe it. It's just like you go and it's like you're seeing a bunch of friends again. Yeah, there's a competition, but like we're all just having a good time, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and to answer that one question first, like to like add to what you said, like, not to sound redundant because I always say this all the time. If you go to the shop and most people ask me, oh, they'll say, we know you're not making money off of this event. Well, first and foremost, that's what I actually find very interesting in hosting these events. Just to give you guys a little insight, these are not, how can I say this? It's not improv, right? We're not throwing around resources deliberately. It makes our teams, like, how can I say this? There's meaning behind it. It allows us to get to work and find ways to acquire the resources to do these things for you guys, right? And that's what always keeps us innovating. And that's why we're constantly innovating, because we need to figure out how we're going to get this prize support for everyone, right? So I think it's a challenge, and I think it allows us to not only be challenged as a business, but it also brings our team together and all of our sponsored players together, because it shows everyone, hey, it's not just you guys playing the game. It's us building the brand with you guys to provide, to be able to go to these events, host these, host our own events, right? So it's a challenge, and we're always up for a challenge. We have each other.
Also, I want to add for those of you who don't know, SSG and the back channels, we're one of the biggest distributors of coffee in Florida. So that's where we make our money. So I just want to let you guys know that. So I don't understand. Why do people want to complain about it? Just come, enjoy the events,
Joy.
live your life, come get the free Cuban breakfast, and get your good testing against good players, and that's it. Right?
See if you can
If
see if you can
anybody
beat
wants to
Hector.
know how we break even, it's the coffee. That's the
The
secret
coffee.
sauce.
The coffee.
And
Awesome.
hats.
All right. Let me without further ado, let's show the graphic. All right. This is officially dubbed the Merlin 10K. This will be a 2-day event starting May 3rd to May 4th. We will be doing a top cut on day 2. We did get a lot of great feedback for top 16, so with enough players, we will be proceeding with the top 16 again on day 2. Following on day 2, if you were not fortunate enough to make top cut, we will be running 2 events. One of them being a prize pool guaranteed $1,000 day 2 $25 entry event, meaning that the more that people sign up, the more that gets added to the prize pool, and we'll make sure to track that as we have the signups available in Melee. The last event I do want to highlight, which is something very new, we're really excited about trying out this time, is going to be a high stakes 5K prize guaranteed on day 2. It's a $100 entry, and the pricing, the way that the split will be, it will be very top heavy. We really want to see this one played out, and we want a definitive winner here.
Yeah. Can I elaborate a little bit as to why we chose this structure? So I think what we're going to end up doing, if you guys don't mind, if you don't mind, moving forward for a lot of these events, right? I think what we're going to do is, I think we're going to start, now that we have the podcast, right? Please guys stay tuned, because you're going to see how the development and how we curated these events, and there's meaning behind everything, right? So what's really important is, outside of the main event, is these two day 2 we're host 2 different events, and I'm going to explain why. First and foremost, there are different types of players out there, right? That you have your casuals, you have your collectors, you have your competitive players, right? And then you also have your players that just came into the game. And there, after getting a lot of feedback, especially on the local side, it breaks my heart sometimes when I don't see some of our regulars that were once, with us, or some of the insight they give me, where they say, well, I ask them, oh, where you been, this and that, and they say, well, it's really competitive, right? Which is exactly what we intended it. We wanted everyone to be, having a competitive atmosphere, right? But then I thought our team thought to ourselves, like, well, we don't want anyone to steer away from what it is that we're doing as well. So we want to give everyone the opportunity to be able to play in these events. So with that being said, when you do a high stakes event where it's a 5K guaranteed, whether there's 2 players or 200 players, obviously the prize pool will increase, right? As the field increases, but it allows players to participate in a high stakes event. And when you have a high stakes event, it does draw in a higher level of player. And then you also have that 1K where you can still participate in an event, get that exposure experience that will allow you to be more confident maybe next time in the high stakes event. And we want to be able to provide events for the best of both worlds, right? So we want to cater to everybody. So we listen to what everyone has to say, and we're going to deliver for y'all, okay? This is a good way to acquire data, this is why we're hosting 2 events. So let's see how successful it is, and then for the next one, let's see what happens after the next event. But it allows us to be able to curate something new for the next one, if that makes sense. right?
Just to double check. So are you saying that if I'm able to register day two for the $100 entry, and we make sure we bully everybody out, and we just have like a 5-man tournament, that we could get the prize award guaranteed? Is that what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah. You know why? Because I'm going to jump in the tournament myself then, and I'm going to make sure that I protect the house. All right. If
Of
that's what you
course.
want to
Yeah.
do.
Sweet tea. Yeah, the prize support is guaranteed for the main event as well.
Mhm.
It's always guaranteed, whether it's 2 people, 5 people, or just me.
Just you.
Yeah.
But also to answer one question is why I want everyone to understand that 10K has the ability to increase as well, dependent on how many players and how many entries there are, right? So in the event that we have, I'm not saying that we're going to have this many open. I'm just giving an example. If we have a 250 individual players sign up, then of course we're going to increase the pricing as well. We want to be able to give as much to have as much stakes as possible, just to let you guys understand how that happens. So if you see 10K, just know it has the ability to increase. It's dependent on how many more players enter.
And if we get more than 100 players, we'll make Bucky and Flaversham legal just for the event.
Oh, baby, don't tease me
Oh
with a good time.
my God.
Don't tease me with a good time, bro. If the squirrel comes back, bro, the squirrel, baby.
You guys are we listen. Oh my goodness.
The squirrel, baby.
Stop. Put that embarrassment away.
Can I show you guys something that we have actually in the works right now? I wasn't planning on doing this. Can I do something real quick? I'm really excited.
Oh, stop. No, cut the
What is
feed.
it? Hold on.
Steffi,
What is
cut
it?
the
What is
feed.
it? 'Cause-
Cut the feed, bro. He's about to give away some stuff. Cut the
Yeah, what's
feed.
happening?
Giveaway. Yo, this is a prototype. It's in the making. All right, just to let you guys know.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
The SSG play mats.
He said, Kylie was sweating.
Bro, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, because you guys hold me back, and Zach, what you're gonna learn about everyone on the team is that they hold me back. I want to do these ambitious events, these crazy events, and they don't let me. So there may be a time where I surprise everyone, and kind of, I'm not trying to be mean, but what I say goes. I'm gonna have these big events if I want to. I'm just
Zach will know a little bit here in events when they tell him, hey, you better win every round, because if you don't, you're gonna give away 3 cases. He's gonna understand.
You know what's funny? You guys don't know this. Anyone that knows has been in the shop late at night, especially before a new set comes out. We promise all these cases, right? And it drives everyone crazy because I just rip these. I rip so many boxes. They'll have a secret stash in the back for our event, and I'll just literally go in the back, rip them.
That his nickname literally is Devi Rips. And we do like we'll have all the cases ready to go, counted out, and Devin's like, yo, I ripped like 5.
I'm gonna have to hide them from you, bro.
No, bro, and they're smart though. They adapted because they stash more than what we have to, right? How many cases you put in the back last time, Kylie?
I was putting like, if I needed 15, I put like 25.
Yeah, he's smart.
If somebody asked me for something, I'm like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we have to lie to him, tell him we don't have product, because if not, and then he hooks me too. And then from there, we move from Lorcana. We start opening Pokemon, which is even worse for my health.
First and foremost,
It just makes
guys,
it worse.
Hector, bro, I love you so much, guys. You're gonna know that I love Hector's my brother, he's my boy, but he can be the biggest hypocrite sometimes. I'll sit there and I'll be opening a Pokemon. No, try to take it away from me. Literally goes home, and within like 2 hours, he shows me videos of everything he just cracked for Pokemon. It's crazy. I've never seen anything before in my life.
That was in the past, not no more. Because now, you
get jealous.
I got kids to feed, man. This Pokemon addiction is a little too crazy, so I gotta stop.
Yeah,
but then we'll be a good example. Last tournament, we were just sitting there. He looked. I just bought from one of our locals. His name's Scott. I bought some Evolving Skies ETBs. They're like they're like 240, 250 a piece. And Devin was just sitting there, and he said, "Let's crack these." It's like, nah, man, I'm not cracking these. And then he looked a little down, like, life was hitting him. I was like, F it, we're opening this.
My boy.
And we opened like $500 worth of packs. And if I tell you, we got one card that was worth over $1.
There's like 8 packs in there, right?
Well, yeah.
And the hit rates on
We
bad.
hit one
Evolving
card.
cards, baby. Evolving
One
cards.
card that was worth $1. Like this, if you listen to any advice for new players, don't open packs. Just buy the singles, please.
Yes. Yeah, and I will say that to add to Hector's point, man, those hit rates on some of these sets are so bad. So do your research, and there's nothing wrong going on YouTube. I know it's like the joy out of opening packs. It's literally gambling, right? And I'm not saying I don't want to tell you to steer away from like having fun, but man, like just go on YouTube, do your research, and see what a lot of
It's
these.
hard.
Yeah, see how like the pull rates, man. Like
And-
literally do it before you do it, because like
And
it's,
just so Chad knows, this is Pokemon we're talking about, not
yeah,
Lorcana.
Pokemon.
It's
No,
Pokemon.
Lorcana.
I mean, Lorcana stepping it up in their
Yeah,
pull rates, right? I think
Lorcana.
they're-
The pull rates for Lorcana are good. I think that opening Lorcana is fun. Pokemon, again, the hit rates are very, very hit or miss. You know, you can open 500 prismatic packs and open literally nothing.
We'll eventually do a podcast where Devin brings out 1,000 packs and we're ripping.
So
Just gonna-
funny that you say that, guys. The Hector says that. I actually have a lot of content that hasn't been uploaded of me doing that. So, you know, it was intended for a series. The whole point was to get the chase cards for every Pokemon set, and for whatever reason, Evolving Skies is something I can't, bro. That set hates me. That set hates me.
You've done good in that set. You just never got the Moonbreon.
I
But
know.
you've gotten, I think, every other hit in that set.
Hey, but can I be honest with you? We opened up a lot of Lorcana, especially the newer set. I'm telling you right now, now that I think about it, this set's pretty hard with some of these enchanteds. I haven't seen a lot of these enchanteds for the newer set, bro. And I've opened up, like, ironically, I opened up 2 of the enchanted Tamatoas. But other than that, we haven't really seen. I haven't seen any tramps. I haven't seen any of what else that I really want to get. We opened up a Donald, but this set, there's a lot of enchanters that we haven't seen.
What I will say about Lorcana is that they stepped it up this set, right? Like the enchantments look gorgeous. I don't know about the regular foils. The regular foils, I think they downgraded in those, but the new enchantments are insane.
I
Right?
like-
They make me.
I like
Step in real quick. Can you go ahead and put that comment up where it says Splendid? Splendid. Cool. Splendid.
Which one? So
Where it says the cases had double enchanters though. Put it up real quick. All right, let me ask you a question. Is it recent? Let me ask, do you guys know this? If they if like there's like multiple waves, or is it like let's just say the day it came out for this particular set, right? Is there different print runs after that, or is it, or no? And there,
What do you mean?
Like
I'm
what
not
I mean
sure.
is that Splendid says he had some cases where had double enchanted, right?
Yes,
When
but
we
it's
open
not
up-
guaranteed. It's not
No, I
guaranteed.
I understand. I know, I understand that, but I guess my question is that because we opened up a lot, we didn't experience that. But if there's like, I don't know if this was like just a first print, if they're constantly printing it, because what I wanted to show Kylie that there's some cases that have double chances. I'm ready to go back to the shop right now and open some of what we have, Kylie.
Oh no!
I need to
No,
see that.
You guys
Don't do it.
The Splendid cooked me, man. At least the
somebody
next
in the
tournament's a
chat-
money tournament, so I don't need cases for that
I
one.
haven't hit recent, but
Somebody in the chat mentioned if we have a flyer so they could post on Twitter. Right after this stream, we'll go ahead and post it from our socials and stuff. We'll appreciate it if you guys could share it, put it out there. We're trying to get a big turnout.
Yeah.
You guys can come get some free coffee from me too.
Hey, first and foremost,
Double cases from us.
Hey,
that
y'all.
said,
Hey, y'all, first and foremost, we got our brother in the chat. Shout out to Guildhalls, man. Shout out to Guildhall, South Florida. John, we
Johnny
love
boy.
you, my boy. We love you. Miss you, buddy. You don't come see me anymore. It's not fun. You know,
He stops by. He just comes earlier than you come. He comes at like 2.
all right. Yeah.
Well, I have a quick question. So what we're doing, we're gonna try to fire up a podcast every Wednesday at least to give a little bit of information and talk about stuff. We'll start bringing people in, make this a little fun. This was actually very fun for me.
Yeah.
My wife is in the back sending me death threats, but but
Yeah, so what we intend on doing, guys, is to add what Hector's saying is that we are launching a podcast, and right now for this particular series, it's going to be we're going to do it for every game as well, but As you know, we have Lorcana has a very, very, very special place in our hearts because of all you guys. So our intentions are to bring you guys amazing content, right? For entertainment, but also for strategy as well, and give you guys some insight for some of the most prevalent players in the game, along with some prevalent content creators. So it's gonna be a combination of everything. But we're gonna start dumping a lot of time, a lot of resources in for you guys for doing stuff like this more often. It may right now we're starting off at once a week, but who knows? It may be a few times a week, depending on how it goes. But our intentions are to be able to bring you guys some organized content, well put together, and contribute as much as we can for you guys. All right. If you want to
Somebody in the chat just mentioned, Stefan, they asked if the day 2 events entry are on day of, or will the melee links be released soon for them?
I am happy to announce that all 3 melee links have been created for all 3 events. They are available to sign up now. Get in before we cap out, and think of it very similar to like how we operated at some of the DLCs. I would strongly recommend buying your entry now, and if you end up doing well in another event, we can, based on timing, or if you think you can make this the second event, that's great. If not, and you're doing well in the main event, we can just help with those arrangements, right? But the times are pretty much set, and yeah, they're all live. We'll make sure to share all 3 links on all socials. Feel free to share them with your friends, family. If your grandma plays Lorcana, share it with her. Bring her out to South Florida. The beaches are nice.
And now, one last thing before I don't know how long we have left, but if you guys can, I'd like a moment of silence for the next 5 seconds to our boy Flaversham. Let's put your head down and let's just.
John's putting a bounty on my head right now, boys.
No respect for the Hiram.
Not even 5 seconds?
Not
even 5 seconds. Good riddance. Get him out.
Wow.
Yeah, bro. Bucky all day. Bucky all day.
Not
bro.
even 5. Can you believe that, man? No respect.
Not even 1 second.
Not 1 second, man.
John,
Hey,
you don't
they
even
didn't
have
give the
boxes,
squirrel.
bro.
They didn't give the squirrel the time he deserved either. So Kylie said,
Yeah.
"Screw any other problematic animal in Disney Lorcana."
I would have rather seen him banned than what they did to him, bro. I mean, they took my boy and they just.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that card is the reason why I played Lorcana for a week, and I said I'm done with this game. Bucky was obnoxious, bro. You know why it was obnoxious? Because and I love everyone, but there are certain players I was playing against, and they were just crushing me because of Bucky, and it's not It wasn't enjoyable. I'm like, this is crazy.
Bucky ended relationships.
Bucky got me my first set champs win, so I have a very happy relationship with that deck. But I went to Steel Song after he was eroded.
You were on Steel Songs before, though.
That's what I was Steel Song, and I wanted to cheat out a free Ursula dub over at Tate's Gaming Satellite.
So you betrayed Ariel for the squirrel.
Tell Kylie, tell him he doesn't have the ticket to Emerald City, the Wizard of Oz, bro. Come on, really still, baby. Emerald City, baby.
Emerald all day, bro.
You're gonna whip out the shoes. You're gonna whip out the shoes, the Emerald City shoes you got the shop.
Those are your shoes, boy.
Ah, they're yours, my boy. That's a gift from me to you.
Oh no, bro.
No, I'll take them.
If Scott's in the chat right now,
Shout out to Scott, man. Oh my goodness, we got the wicked. I wish we could for next stream moving forward, Stephen. We have to be able to bring some. Unless you could do it now. Start whenever we talk about something, we could bring up the image to show everybody what we're talking about.
Yeah,
sure
this is it's
Devin, they want to see your
I
tattoo.
want to see the tattoo, by the way.
I
Yeah,
want to see the tattoo in the chat.
You guys know who Mr. Run It Up is. That's our brother, bro. All right.
Devin, they put the tattoo
I'm committed,
on
guys.
backwards.
I know they did. It was by accident. I have no regrets. All right, guys. No
Now
regrets.
we already what was it called? If you're part of this team, you gotta get a tattoo. I have one here too. I don't know if you can see it. It's very small. Bivens is getting one this weekend. So
All right, I'm out, guys. See ya.
Actually, no, guys, you guys don't know
It was
this.
a good
Bivens
run.
has it. He has it already. He just didn't want to show it yet. When he wins Worlds, he's going to show everybody.
That's right.
he's gonna show the SSG on his chest.
Yeah. Oh my god. I know, but honestly, guys, that just shows you how committed I am to this brand and to this place. And regardless, first and foremost, I already know what's going to happen with this brand because of everything that we do every day and who we have on the team. But it just shows you that we're all in, man, and whatever happens is still a really big part of our lives, my life at least. So.
Same here. All right, guys. Well, I think it's time for me to. I'm getting death threats over here. I got my own little Bucky running around crying right now.
Oh my goodness! The little princess.
My little Ariel.
We'll wrap up really quick. Any last minute thoughts, comments, questions, concerns from you guys? We'll start off with Devin. Do you have any last thoughts?
No, I'm actually very, very excited for the. I actually really enjoyed this, guys. Thank you guys for everyone tuning in. Everyone on the team, Stephen, Hector, Zach, Kylie, you guys just sparked something in me again because this is very fun. And again, I don't know how proud I am to say, Zach, welcome to the team, man. Welcome to the family. We're excited to see where this takes us, and we look forward to seeing what we could do together for the game itself, right? So super grateful to have you part of the team, man.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Disney World with Zach when he wins Worlds. I think that's the theme.
Yep, we're gonna dump the Gatorade on him. He's gonna have the announcements. What are you doing next? I'm already at
I'm
Disney
jumping
World.
in the lake if I win.
Oh my goodness!
Don't do that.
Alligator lakes, bro.
Yeah, Zach, you don't want to jump in that lake, bro. You don't
Nah,
wanna
I'll jump
in any lake in Florida, bro.
Nah. If he jumps in the lake, we're all jumping with him. This is committed. One for all.
Right.
We
Southside
fight gators
guys.
out here.
Southside dies that day, bro. Everybody in Lake Buena Vista.
All right. I'll settle for the swimming pool then.
we'll get the floaties, bro. All right, Kylie, we'll go to the Yacht and Beach Club, but
Yeah, bro.
the whirlpool pool, a little sand on the bottom.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. It was super fun. I get to do this more often, and it flows, right? We're just friends here talking crap about Lorcana, enjoying our time. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Yeah.
He's such a liar.
Maybe
Tell her we
Zach
said thank you.
wants to
You're
go.
such a liar.
You want to see it?
She's
You
not
wanna-
even there. He's just like, hold on.
Listen, I will show you. Okay, so you got a couch for me? Because if I show you them standing right there, I'm gonna have to go sleep on somebody's couch.
Yo, you got to have this room, bro. You got extra
You got
room.
the couch, air mattress and all, baby.
Hector, blink twice if you're in danger.
Yo, Skinner, you're the one that doesn't shut up, bro. Like you
Yo.
sent like 17 comments. Like stop.
Skinner, man,
I'm done with you.
I'm gonna have to go
I'm
on
done
with
with you.
Skinner one day to commentate, bro. That man, what you guys do. Oh my god,
I'm tired. I'm tired of Skinner.
Skinner.
Actually, no. Shout out to Skinner that he's actually showing up to SSG now. He actually shows up.
Guy's the
You know?
goat.
I saw my boy
Skinner's
out.
a good guy.
That's my I know, yeah.
Awesome.
No, all right. All
how
serious.
about,
I'm done.
all right, take care, Hector. We'll have everybody else sign up, but we'll see you. We'll see you in the shop.
Love you, Captain Hector.
I'll see you guys.
El
Boy, I love you,
Capitan, have a
brother.
good night.
Good night, bro.
Good night, guys.
All right. Oh, finally.
Yeah, Gabe, yo, what you and Gabe do, you guys are, especially the whole team, but you guys are incredible, man. Love you guys, man. I wish I was there the last weekend, but there'll be more events. Definitely more events. I promise you that. I'm not missing any more, Kylie. Don't let me.
I try not to, bro. I put it in your schedule, bro. But when you making tattoo appointments, I don't know. I'm not there.
First off, I didn't make the tattoo appointment because of that. This is years in the making. Months.
No. That's what I'm saying. I didn't know you had a tattoo appointment.
I know.
All right. Before we get more derailed, how about you, Zach? Before we sign off, any last minute thoughts? You excited to come down May 3rd? You think you're gonna earn your keep over here, save the house, save your own house?
Hey, I'll be there. Everybody come and see me there. Super excited for that. It's gonna be big. You don't want to miss it, that's for sure. You definitely don't want to miss it. So yeah, looking forward to that. Gonna be a great weekend, and appreciate all you guys.
Awesome. Well, definitely will appreciate and happy to see you there. How about you, Kylie?
I just want to say I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And just just keep coming to these events and keep tuning in. 'Cause like I said, me, Stefan, and Devin, we're working on something, and you know, pretty soon we're gonna roll it out. But I think you guys are gonna really, really like what we have cooking right now. Devin doesn't even know yet fully, but Stefan, he's shaking his head up there. No, Devin,
Whoa, hold on.
we had a breakthrough today, bro. I gotta tell you about it later, but once we get this finalized, you guys are really gonna like it. So,
All I know is Devin's gonna say yes. If there's anything I know about Devin,
Yeah?
he's gonna say the first sentence,
yeah.
and he's gonna be like, "Do it, do it. I don't care what comes afterwards."
Oh yeah.
Awesome, cool. Well, with that being said, guys, thank you for joining us for our first ever podcast. This is super exciting. We appreciate you coming out. Hope you join us next week. I'll get some topics for us to talk about. Maybe we'll get a guest or two on, and we hope that you have a great night. Take care, everyone.